How's it going, everybody? You know, I was glad to wake up today to January and not December 32nd, because that would have seriously messed up the naming scheme of the RS3M 2020. Yeah, that would have been really confusing if they wanted to make more 3x3s. But anyways, with the new year comes new cubes, obviously, and I want to predict some of the cubes that will come out this year. And some of these predictions, things are already confirmed. Some of them are pretty likely possible to happen. Some of them are kind of ridiculous, but I just want them to happen anyways. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be predicting and talking about cubes that I either think will come out in 2021 or just really want to come out in 2021. And at the end of the year, we're going to look back and see how stupid I was. So let's just start with GAN. Now, there's one thing that I really want GAN to do in 2021, because if they did some other things, which they are probably going to do, they would probably mess them up. And the thing that I want GAN to do this year is to make a new 4x4. The GAN 460 was not the best, and it was quite expensive. I think GAN should take another shot at making a 4x4. They were teasing a very long time ago that there was some 4x4 with the GAN X magnet system, but that magnet system got outdated and we haven't heard anything about that since, so I think it's not happening. But maybe just something, a GAN 460 V2 or something like that. And the 60mm size, which was kind of crazy back when the GAN 460 released, is not really crazy anymore. It's actually pretty normal. So I think if they fix the problems with the GAN 460, even if it was pretty expensive, it would still be good for GAN to do. And there's nothing else really specific I want to see from GAN in 2021, but because I feel like they would just mess it up, do something GAN. But I would consider the 460 V2, as I'm going to call it, to be decently likely, so I'm going to put it in the predicts section. There's going to be the hopeful section, the predicting section, and the already confirmed section. Now moving on to YJ. YJ was very good in 2020, and they made a lot of cubes. They finished basically their 2 through 7 MGC lines, and all of them were really good. So I think what they could do this year is make a clock, and why I say that is because right now we really only have 2 magnetic clock options besides like custom-made ones, and that is obviously the Shangshao clock and the Qi clock. Shangshao clock is not very good, and the Qi clock is $35-ish, so that is a problem for some people. But I think YJ, with the consistency of their releases that they really do have, they could make a really good budget clock that's in between the Shangshao and the Qi for people who don't have a ton of money to spend on clock. I would consider this to be decently likely, so that's going to put it in the prediction section. And something that's already confirmed for YJ is the MGC Square 1. That looks to be really, really good, so that's obviously confirmed because it's already confirmed, so I'm really excited for that one, because YJ hasn't really made a very good Square 1 in a long time. And that's really all I want to see specifically from YJ in 2021, and it just shows how consistent and good they've been in the past few years with all their releases, because I don't really want anything besides things they haven't really done yet. What about Yushin? Well, Yushin, I like to call them the 3-hit wonder, because they have a couple of amazing cubes that they've made. They made the Hey 7, they made the Little Magic, which is a very important cube, and they made the Huanglong Pyraminx, which I have a lot of nostalgia and, like, kind of bias towards, but I just want them to do something, because they've been very inactive and the recent releases have not really been that great. So just something, another 3x3, a Huanglong version 2. I think they're going to do something, but it's whether it's actually, like, good or not, because YJ has kind of just been destroying them with the budget cubes just being way better. So I'm hoping Yushin does at least something decent in 2021, and I'm going to say that's a prediction, because it's pretty likely. Now, there's a lot of things I want to see from MoYu this year, because MoYu has only been focusing on the 2x2 through 5x5 pretty recently. So I would want to see a new 6x6 and 7x7, because both of their 6x6 and 7x7s are kind of outdated. And the 6x6, I'm pretty sure is already confirmed that they're going to make an Aoshi WRM, but we haven't heard from it in a long time. So I'm going to put that in confirmed, and then a 7x7 and Aofu WRM, as I would presume it would be called. That's pretty likely if they do make the 6x6. So I would say it's predictions, but also pretty close to confirmed. I also want them to update some of their side events that are also pretty old. I would want to see another Pyraminx from MoYu because they haven't made one since 2016. So I would like to see that. I think that's decently likely to happen, seeing as Pyraminx is a pretty popular event. And a little more of a long shot one is Square One. They haven't made a Square One in 5 years, and it wasn't really anything special. It was the Way Long Square One. I think this is more of a long shot type of thing, but I just would really want to see it from MoYu because they haven't made one in forever. And about a clock, obviously a lot of companies have been jumping on clock. I don't really want to see a MoYu clock because I feel like it would just be another Qi clock or an alternative option for the Qi clock. I think the YJ having a good budget option would be a lot more significant. What about Qi? Well, they have a lot of sub-brands that I can go into. So, XMan Designs, I would like to see an update to the Spark. Now, the Spark was very good when it came out and kind of overtake the Haze. After the Haze sort of revolutionized 7x7, the Spark kind of just destroyed it, I guess. And I feel like the Spark, although it was good, now with the MGC, we kind of need an upgrade. And we saw the Shadow V2 very recently, which was a similar situation with the MGC sort of destroying the Shadow. And now the MGC 7x7 has kind of not really destroyed the Spark, but is definitely just as good, maybe better, for a lot cheaper. So I think it's pretty likely that they're going to make a Spark V2 of some kind. So I think that would be a prediction. It's not confirmed, but with the Shadow V2, it's very likely. And for the Volk line, well, Mets Volk supposedly quit cubing, but that obviously doesn't mean they can't make Volk cubes because, you know, there's Jordan shoes and Michael Jordan retired 20 years ago. But I think if they are going to make more Volk cubes, then they should definitely make another Volk 4, because the 4x4 was definitely a flop. And also, I would like to see the next flagship G 3x3. I don't know if it'd be like the Volk Ultimate or something, but the Volk Power was not very good. The Volk Elite was okay, but not the best for everyone. And Chi has kind of been inconsistent with the Volk releases. So hopefully this one, if they do make it, could be good. And also the Volk 4 just desperately needs an upgrade. And we've also seen recently XMan Designs, which was formerly just a side event brand, go into a 2x2 with the XMan Flare. But while XMan Designs has been pretty much a side event brand as of late, they actually started back a long time ago by making a 3x3, the XMan Tornado. And this is kind of a long shot, so that's the category I'm going to put it in, but it'd be cool to see a Tornado version 2. I think that would be really cool, a magnetic version of a Tornado with updated design and everything, because it was kind of a cube that got forgotten about, but it would be cool to see it revitalized. Now for Diane, which was an old company that's been revitalized in the past few years with very good releases. They had 2 solid 3x3s this year, the Guhong V4 and the Tangyun version 2. And they also had a 2x2, I believe. Maybe that was released last year, I can't remember. But there was also a Megaminx that they released very recently. I think it might actually still be like a pre-order, but they have released that recently. But they haven't made anything like a 4x4, 5x5, anything like that. So I would want to see maybe a magnetic 4x4, maybe even a magnetic 5x5 from Diane. And, you know, that would be pretty cool to see. And I see a decent chance of that happening, so I would put it in predictions. So to recap, in the confirmed section we have the MGC Square 1, which is already confirmed, probably going to come out sometime early 2021. And also, while we haven't heard from it in a while, the Aoshu WRM 6x6 from MoYu is also confirmed as far as I am aware. Now for the predictions, we had a lot of these in here. We have the GAN 460 version 2 or something of that nature. Something from Yushin. YJ MGC Clock. Aoshu WRM 7x7 from MoYu, MoYu Pyraminx V2 or some sort of new MoYu Pyraminx, XMan Spark 7x7 version 2, a Volk 4 version 2, and the quote-unquote Volk Ultimate 3x3. That's just the name I thought up of in 5 seconds. And for Longshots, we have the XMan Tornado 3x3 version 2 and a new MoYu Square 1. And those are basically all the things I want to see from cube manufacturers in 2021. Obviously, some of these aren't going to come to fruition. Maybe a lot of these won't come to fruition. But that's kind of the fun of it all, is then at the end of the year, we're going to just be looking back and be like, oh my gosh, they were so dumb. They thought there was going to be a GAN 19x19.